Hi guys, Julie here. Welcome back to my channel. I'm going to apologize right now. My voice seems to be really cracking a lot today and I seem to be phlegmy. I don't know why. I'm not sick. I feel perfectly fine. For the first time in a long time, I'm doing a voiceover not sick. So I don't know why just the last like half hour or so my voice has been just not being nice to me. But anywho, so welcome back to another speed build. It's all I do. We know this. This house is actually a real house for the most part. I mean, it's a real house. It exists. It's actually a friend of mine's house. She moved in here, I think, a good couple of years ago. And I only just recently went over for the first time. You know how life is. Things get busy. There's just stuff going on. You don't have time to visit. She comes here a lot, but I had yet to make my way over. I'm a terrible person, I know. So her house, I walked in and I was so in love with it. It was so cute and nice and like a comfortable size. And I don't know. It was so her that it wasn't even funny. Like she is the type of person who would have, an interestingly shaped house, nooks and crannies and stuff like that. So when I was there, it was nighttime. So I really don't actually have any clue what the roof looks like. So I'm just kind of inventing a lot of this as I go. I actually think I ended up cutting some of the roofing out because I was having issues. I don't really remember. Again, this is a video that or a build that I did over a week ago, I guess now, like when I finished it. But by the time I get around to actually editing something, and then by the time I actually get around to doing the voiceover on top of that, it's like a whole brand new build for me because I remember nothing. So, but yeah, so like I said, it was nighttime when I was there. I have no idea what the roof really looked like. So because the house was so oddly shaped in the game, I had to just do whatever I could with the roofing. So in real life, this house is actually a much larger house, but on the right, like if you're looking at the front door, on the right of it, and going all the way around towards the back, it's actually a second home. So when you're facing her front door, if you walk around the property to the right side, there's another front door and it leads to someone else's house, which is, I guess, connected to what would be her kitchen. So when I get to that part, you shall see. And of course, with the limitations of The Sims, obviously the angles and stuff like that, like nothing is exact, but I tried my best. So the bathroom in real life is obviously a little smaller, but this is exactly how it's set up. But in The Sims, I can't have this, that wow, what's it called? Shower. I can't have it any closer than where it was, other than it being literally touching the toilet and the counter across from it. So it's a little more generous with space in some areas. And then at the front door, which I'm working on now by the stairs, when you walked in, it was just these built-in shelves. So I just kind of did some makeshift ones. And in the bathroom, same thing. It was like a whole built-in shelf thing, and she had all kinds of little stuff on there. So this is just my interpretation of that. She does have a lot of knickknacks, a lot of stuff, a lot of plants. Actually, I don't remember seeing a lot of plants, but I know she loves plants. Maybe she didn't have any plants. It is winter, so maybe her plants didn't survive. I don't know. I'd have to ask her. I actually did message her to see if she wanted to do the voiceover with me, because I thought that would be fun, because I've been playing The Sims for, how old is The Sims now? 20 years? 20 years. I've been playing The Sims literally for 20 years, since the very first time I saw it at Radio Shack, which doesn't exist anymore, but Radio Shack, I don't think I've told this story before, but anyways, Radio Shack used to have a little video game section for PC games and stuff, and that's where I would sometimes go and just see what's new. Prior to buying The Sims, it would just be buying things like, excuse me, like board games that you could play on the computer, like Monopoly and Life and things along those lines, Family Feud, because I was a single mom and very young and stayed home a lot. So I really needed something to do. So I'd always be looking for new video games and stuff. I didn't have a video game console at my apartment, I guess, at the time. Really couldn't afford one. And so all I had was my computer. And so that's the types of games that I would buy. And there really wasn't a lot of options back then. Like, we're talking 20 years ago. Things have changed drastically. So, yeah, I just found The Sims this one time. It was just a little CD case, and I look at it, and I'm like, oh, this would be really interesting. And I mean, the rest is history. I've owned all of The Sims 1, all of the expansion packs, all of The Sims 2, and all of their expansion packs, all of The Sims 3. The Sims 3, I think, is still pretty much one of my favorites, except near the end, I mean, you couldn't play that game anymore because it wouldn't save unless you saved every 30 seconds to a minute. I was always getting that error code 12, and it was just, you couldn't do anything. Anyhow, now obviously The Sims 4, I went a long time actually not playing. When my husband and I first met, I was playing a little bit. Actually, I guess it had just come out actually around that time. So I was actually playing it pretty heavily at the time, and then it just kind of died out a little bit. I wasn't buying the expansion packs and stuff like that, and just life got busy, so I didn't have time. And just the last couple of years, I really just rediscovered my love for The Sims again. But anyways, the whole point of this story is my friend who lives in this house that I am building in The Sims right now does not play The Sims, and I don't believe has ever played The Sims. So I really was hoping she'd come and be able to do the voiceover with me just so she could see the process of it, because I'm sure she watches my videos, but I thought it'd be interesting for her to see the process of how these houses come to be. It's like literally something from scratch, and I think it's interesting when you see your own house in The Sims. But so that room that I just finished, that I didn't talk about at all, the red room, is actually her mom's room. So her mom lives with her as well as her teenage daughter. So the mom's bedroom I put downstairs, and then upstairs you have two other bedrooms. And those are obviously my friend's room and her daughter's room. When I went over, her daughter's room was actually the oddly shaped one. It's almost like a U-shaped bedroom. Like, you walk in the door and you can go to your left and kind of walk around a corner, and you can go to your right, I believe, and also kind of go around a corner. That was her room at the time, but they were actually in the process of switching rooms because she felt that that room was like almost too big, too many nooks and crannies, too many corners, and so she actually wanted the smaller room that is just a big square. So when I built this, I built it as if the rooms have been switched. So my friend has the big, interestingly shaped room now, and her daughter has the smaller room, which works out well. I don't know. I'm going to say this pretty much about like all my builds, but I really like this one. I think it's so interesting. And I did decorate it, I think, similarly to how she has hers decorated. I didn't really change a lot. I mean, I added stuff, obviously, because it's The Sims. Like, you have to add stuff. Like, there's actually no window in the kitchen because of the other house that's attached to it. But obviously I added a window in the kitchen just for the game itself. And the living room is decorated much differently. They actually have their TV stand kind of at the bottom of the stairs, like against the wall that the stairs go up to. But in this game, because that's the hallway, like in real life, you can just walk around an item, you know, make your way around as a person does. But in The Sims, if something is just ever so slightly in the way of your Sims path, they freak out and can't go there and, you know, die. Whatever. Maybe they don't die. Well, maybe they do. They die of weird things. But yeah, so the kitchen I didn't want to clutter up too much because I had that tall kind of pantry thing, whatever you want to call it, on the counter. So I feel like that is a really big item and kind of in your face, so I didn't want to clutter everything up too much. Yeah, I didn't go in the kitchen much. Like, we were there for dinner, so we were in the dining room, and the lights were kind of off in the kitchen or very dimmed. But from what I remember seeing, I'm pretty sure the counters are of similar color. So this here, what you're seeing there, that's actually a room that you can download. It's a tiny little room, but it's a room that you can download from the gallery, and it was made by Simlissy. She's a Sims YouTuber, ridiculously talented. What she did is actually made a couple of rooms and shared them to the library and also, or to the gallery, and then obviously she has them in her own library as well. She went through the debug menu and pulled out all kinds of stuff and made a room with it. So this is, I believe, I don't know, kitchen clutter. And then this one that I just placed down that disappeared really quickly was like just other clutter. And these paintings, they don't count as custom content. You can get them from the gallery as well. There's a lot of really talented people who make paintings for the game. This one is by Fruit Loops 40, I think was the name. I'll have it in the description below for the gallery, but they don't count as custom content, and you get some really cool art pieces. I don't use them often, but for this build, I wanted to because my friend actually has a lot of really interesting art pieces around her house, and so I didn't feel like the Sims stuff really did it justice. So I wanted to get stuff that, nobody had seen before, basically. And then in the kitchen at the end of the counter, this is what she has in her real house. It was just like this cute little side table with some things on it. I don't remember what was on it. I'm assuming it's one of those like clutter little things, where maybe you throw the mail and your keys and anything else that you don't know where to put, you kind of throw there. And then here, just putting some clutter on the shelves that are by the door. The house to me seemed kind of like an older style home. So that's why I put those lights, the hanging lights, the sconces, I guess, all around. I thought it just added a bit of, I don't know, charm or something to the build. So anyways, yes, I remember by her door, those shelves, the built-in shelving unit, or maybe am I thinking of the one that was on the stairs? I'm not sure now, but she did have a very cluttered, like incense sticks, all kinds of stuff. I don't think there is incense in The Sims, is there? I don't remember. And then the dining room is just off of the kitchen, as many dining rooms are. And they did have like a round glass table with the red chairs, I believe. Were the chairs red? Or is it just the curtains? Something was red. I think it was the chairs. But I went with a square table instead because I believe the round glass one was too much. So yeah, by the stairs where I have the chair now in real life, that's where she has like her TV stand, which is actually like a fireplace and stuff like that. But in The Sims, it doesn't work. I would have had to make the living room way too big, and it just would be even less, true to life that way. And her furniture was not red in the living room. I don't know why I went with a red theme. Like, I know her mom's room was very red, which I do actually change a little bit because right now it's almost like too red. But I don't know. I guess when you're building in The Sims, because you're kind of building from above, you can see everything, all the rooms. So I think I tend to like pick a color and kind of run with it in a build because I can see every room as you're building, if that makes any sense. And in the living room here, this is exactly what she had, a couple of paintings on the wall and like a really cool mirror in the middle. So this is The Sims. This is as cool as it could be. But she's very much into music and everything. So I thought that, painting of a jazz player made sense. And then after the fact, and you'll see it in the screenshots, but after the fact, I do put a guitar in the living room because I completely forgot about her guitar in the living room. And in her daughter's room, I do put a keyboard in there because her daughter is learning piano and she's very, very good at it. And then just some sheer curtains. I believe those are from Island Living. I don't use a lot of stuff from Island Living, especially like the curtains and things, because they have these big, like, I don't know, like attachments on them, like gold attachments and stuff like that, which is not really my thing. But I didn't want to use the same curtains that I'd used, in the dining room and the kitchen and stuff already. So I thought I'll just put some black sheer curtains, which I could picture her actually doing. And so then this is the interestingly shaped room. Now, when I was there, the bed is not where it is. It was coming out of the opposite, like, I don't even know how to explain it. But again, because of limitations of The Sims, I couldn't make this room bigger than this to put the bed where she's actually putting it. But anyways, I still thought this is a really cool design and a really neat setup, which I don't think she could do in real life because I believe the part of the bedroom where I put the bed now with the end table, I think is a lot more narrow than that. The width goes the other way, which is why the bed is on the wall, kind of where we're facing now beside the window. I don't know. It's a speed build. Things move too fast. I can't say things. Anyways, so I don't believe this room is shaped exactly like it is obviously in real life, but it's very similar. And there was like a built-in shelving unit as well when you first walk in. I think I put just like a bookshelf against the wall, and then I end up changing it later to some sort of like built-in shelf with like a wrought iron kind of like bar holding it up. Anyways, you'll see it. If I don't have it in the speed build, you'll see it in the screenshots, I guess. And I don't remember there being an actual desk in the room or a laptop or anything, but I didn't know what else to do with this little corner. And when I had gone up and was looking in that room when I was there, I don't remember. Like, the room was kind of messy because they were in the middle of swapping bedrooms. So, anyways, this is just how, if a room was actually shaped like this is just, I guess, how I would set it up. And I thought a really cute little, that's not a couch. Oh my God, Julie, words. I just thought a cute little chair in the corner added a really nice pop of color, and then these paintings as well, and more plants. I think there's plants in like every single room because I just know she likes plants. And I don't think the bedroom actually had that kind of like jutted out, is that a word? Area where I put the dresser, but again, this is my interpretation of what her house is, I guess. That's my excuse for not making it look the exact same. And then the hallway was very tiny. It was like I said, it was such an interesting house. That's why I came home, and I think I told her before I left, I'm like, I am going to build your house in The Sims because I'm in love with it. I think it's so neat, so nice, so cool. The bathroom down in the main floor is much differently shaped because it's under the stairs, so the ceiling is actually very sloped. Can't really do that in The Sims without creating like a fake wall or whatever, and I was like, I don't want to go that far. So here's the little built-in shelving unit that is there, and then I just take some of the stuff from Simlissy's little random clutter room that she did from the debug menu, and I just fill up all the shelves. I didn't keep all that stuff in because we see it 1,000 times. Every video of a speed build you watch, you will see people pull items for clutter and fill shelves with it. So I basically cut it all out. So there's only a few-ish minutes left in the video at this point. I don't even know. Oh, I guess I still have just the one bedroom and then landscaping to do. So this is the bedroom that I did for her daughter. This is a room that I think that she would love. Like I would sleep there. I love that bed. I'm obsessed with that bed. When I was a kid, I always wanted or hoped to have some sort of bed like that, but I never got one. And that's fine. I survived. But still. So more plants in her daughter's room. And some candles. I don't know if I would allow a 14-year-old to have candles in her room for fear of, burning the place to the ground. But I think when I was 14, 15 maybe 14, 15, I definitely had candles in my room. Like the back of my bed was basically a whole shelf, so I had a bunch of candles on there, and I would just chill in my room with my candles lit and the lights off and play my guitar. Yeah, I was that kid. Anywho. So yeah, in the bedroom here, just have a little desk in the corner. It's not a very big room. I actually never saw it when I was there. I didn't go into this room. But my friend had told me like, oh, we're switching rooms because that room there is just a big square. But she said it was too much of a mess. I wasn't allowed to look. So I never looked into that room. So this is just what I assume it looks like. Obviously, it's not a perfect square because of the way I had to build it, but close enough, and I still think it's a really cool room. And I just put some fairy lights all around because I'm like, what 14-year-old girl wouldn't want a 4-post bed with like curtains on it and fairy lights in their room. And I went with a purple theme for this bedroom because I like purple. So there you go, there's your purple room. And then just a little corner shelf that I put up here, which is just simple to do with 2 shelves, and you just shove them in the corner. There you go, corner shelf. And some plants. Do I put more candles up there? I don't think I put more candles up there, but just some little things. Oh yeah, things you can't reach, like your nail polish, because that's what you do. You put them all the way up near the ceiling. That makes sense. And then just a few posters, and I'm not really sure what kind of music she's into right now. I know when she plays the piano, sometimes it's Queen songs and stuff like that. but she's still a 14-year-old girl. So I'm assuming there's some boy band that she's in love with. So here in the living room, I'm changing a couple things around because I realized like I said earlier, her TV stand is a fireplace. So I'm like, I gotta put a fireplace in the living room. And then here I just thought the room was too red, so I had to switch some stuff out. And leading to her house, she actually does have one of those little archway things like that, and it's adorable, and I love it. They don't really have a backyard, again, or like side yard, again, because of that house that's attached to them. So their yard is mostly all kind of towards the front. So there is room on this lot, obviously, to do a whole backyard thing. So if you download it from the gallery, obviously change whatever you want, but add a huge backyard. I was just trying to build it, you know, to what it looks like in real life, because this is a real house. So at the back of the house, all I do is put like a bunch of just trees just to kind of fill up the space, because nothing looks, I don't know, it just doesn't look finished, you know, like when you don't have, when there's, not when there's stuff missing, but it just doesn't look finished when you have a big green open space. So, yeah, so here I just put some of those fences are from Debug, but I love them because it's got the greenery on it and stuff, and it just makes, it looks older, and like this is an older home. And she does have these little gardens in the front lawn, and if you knew the address, you could actually Google Maps it. And when Google Maps was going around taking pictures of the neighborhood, my friend was actually out front gardening. So you can actually look at Google Maps and see her all hunched over her garden. And there's like, she's in, I think, 2 pictures, because when it came back around, I guess she was working on the other side of the other garden, and they got her again. So she's in Google Maps for now. Street View, Google Maps, or whatever. So I guess until they go around taking new pictures, she's in Google Maps. Like, of course she is. This is just, of course she is. And then I just added a little bench to the front there, a little spot maybe for her mom likes to go chill outside, have her coffee and read or something. I don't know. And I think that's pretty much it. So I think we're going to be coming up to the end of the video shortly and hitting into the screenshots. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Download this, it'll be in the gallery, the information will be below. Share it, like it, subscribe. Thank you so much. Bye.